Hello class, my name is Daniel Hernandez and today I'll be talking to you guys about domestic violence and its effects on mental health. So domestic violence can actually be defined as violent or aggressive behavior in the household. This typically involves intimate partner violence, which can be categorized as being sexually abused, physically abused, even mentally abused. Um, these interactions could actually also affect your children, who's ever experiencing these acts of violence in the household. These children actually tend to grow up with mental health problems of their own, and could grow up with such things like anxiety, PTSD, difficulty interacting with their peers, some academic problems, and a number of other problems. Um, and domestic violence or intimate partner violence is actually more likely to occur in women from ages 16 to 24 than any other women of different age groups. Actually, yeah, it also happens to men actually, but it happens more to women. Um, and going on to the next slide, childhood trauma is actually a big part of an abuser's reason why they started committing domestic violence. Um, Approximately 45 million children will be exposed to violence during their childhood. So this means that a lot of people are actually scarred from their childhood, and this may give a reason or may give many other reasons to commit acts of violence towards your spouse or children. Um, Statistically speaking, 80 to 90% of domestic violence victims abuse or neglect their children. And reading from the PowerPoint, children who witness domestic violence are at increased risk of post-traumatic stress disorder, aggressive behavior, anxiety, impaired development. Pretty much everything that I've explained already. Go on to the next slide, some mental health issues. Some mental health issues associated with an abuser could be like multiple personality disorders such as bipolar disorder, and this is generally associated with aggressive behavior. Um, I have also read that emotional dependency, and I also experienced it actually. Emotional dependency is generally occurs in both partners, um, but it being more severe in the abuser other than like the victim. Um, this seems to trap their victims in like a perpetual state of I need you and you can't leave me or else I'll kill myself. This affects the abusers and the victims greatly. Um, some lifestyle choices that have been made that actually increase the risk of um, domestic violence in the household or intimate partner violence uh, can include drug abuse. This actually greatly increases the risk. Some stress and risk factors increase the likelihood of abuse in a relationship. Financial stressors also is a big risk that affects people in the household. Going on to the next slide. Effects of domestic and intimate violence on mental health is um, there's a lot of cases where the victim actually develops an attachment to their abuser and refuses to seek help. Some may say that they're actually fine and they're perfectly happy the way they are and they're getting the help they need. This could be referred to as Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a psychological condition that occurs when a victim of abuse identifies and attaches or bonds positively to their abuser, and some victims of violence in the household and relationships tend to downplay the severity of the abuse, which I have also mentioned above. So going on to the next slide. So the next few slides is just about getting help. There's a number of other services that you could get a hold of, such as going into like going into, I'm sorry, shelters, like shelters for battered women. They have a battered women shelters and walk-in centers actually all over in LA. So I will keep the link in like, I'll keep all the information on the slide, on the last slide, so you guys could see. But pretty much, yeah, there's a number of different methods to get help, such as talking to close family members, friends. Generally, like anybody that could that has a higher authoritative power. There's also a number of hotlines that you could call, like the national hotline, and there's also a Los Angeles County domestic violence hotline, and both these hotlines are actually 24/7. You could call whenever you want, and there's also on like some websites you could visit, and I noticed that they actually have a feature where if you're visiting a website of domestic violence and trying to get help, and say your partner walks in or something, like they have an option to press X, and it automatically loads a different web page. This specific one actually loads Google back up, and it acts like as if you never were on the website at all. It doesn't track your history, so I think that's really good. And there's also many other places that you could go to, such as like therapy sessions, like with like individualized therapy sessions, but those actually cost money. But yeah, there's a number of free helplines that you could get a hold of actually. And that will be the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. See you later. Thank you.